Hello everyone, welcome to another review. This will be quite different than the other one. I wanted to do something fun and a little bit different. I wanted to find kettles that have very small capacity, under 1 liter. Also, I wanted that gooseneck and stainless steel component so we could have something to brew loose leaf tea. Now, these two kind of make sense. This is a bit of a wild card, but it was a 0.6 liter capacity. I couldn't pass it up. It also says gooseneck tea kettle, but there's a coffee filter and coffee grind, so a little confusing. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Before we start anything, I just want to point out, I almost think these are the same kettles. It's the kind of the same shape and on and off switch and base. It's just the branding here that's a little bit different. So maybe it was originally the same manufacturer and then the brands just added their own little tweaks to it. Also, another note is this is at 0.8 liters, where this is at 1 liter, and this is 600 milliliters. So this is the smallest of the bunch. The Bodum, if you want to look inside, you'll notice the lid is not as snugly fit. And also there's this plastic component inside, which I feel like they could have avoided. If you come over to the Willow and Everest, you'll notice the lid is more snug. And also there is no plastic component, which is a huge factor for me. So that's really nice. So that's completely stainless steel inside. And then over here, you'll notice that this is kind of a unique silicone ring. There is a temperature gauge, which the other two don't have. But if you kind of see this silicone ring, it kind of goes around a large glass piece. And so these are the 3 kettles. They have pretty simple on and off switches. The Bodum and the Willow Everest have the same on and off switch. And then the Jocuu, am I saying that right, has just a button that turns on and off. They all have automatic shut-off features when it does come to a boil. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into it. It is amazing how small this kettle is at 600 milliliters. I think it's the smallest kettle I've seen. And get this thing going. Another note about this kettle is this is a 550 watt kettle, which seems relatively low, but also keep in mind this is only 600 milliliters. Maybe this is something that's more suited for travel or smaller tea setups. Alrighty, now it has come to a boil, we can go ahead and get started. Because of the low wattage, it actually was relatively quiet when boiling. Alrighty, so after testing this out for a while, I think this will do everything you need when brewing tea. It's relatively simple, it pours pretty fast. So let's go ahead and test out the other two. Alright, let's go ahead and test out the Willow and Everest. It's got a simple on and off switch, and there will be a light that shows up when it turns on. Now the Willow and Everest is 1,000 watts, so it does boil a little faster, but it also has that larger capacity. This spout is shaped a little bit differently than the Jocuu, and this pours quite well. So you can go slow and fast on this one. So this will serve all the needs you need as a gooseneck. It does have probably the most comfortable handle out of the 3. There's a little grip for your thumb. It is made of plastic, but it holds quite well, and it feels a little more sturdy than the other 2. And let's move on to the Bodum. This is a much more well-established brand, and they did something interesting with the sustainable cork on the handle. It is soft to touch, but it does feel a little light and feeble, kind of fragile. So let's go ahead and fill it up with water and test it out. And this is the same as the Willow and Everest. It has the little on and off switch and turns red. And this also has a good, pretty controlled pour. So all these are goosenecks, pretty much what you need. Do have to make a note, when I was boiling this, It did have some strings leaking. I don't know if that's just my individual kettle I bought. And also, when you're holding this, for some reason this kettle feels heavier. And that might have to do something with the handle. The Willow Everest was a little more comfortable to hold. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. The Jocuu was probably the most interesting, the smallest kettle I've ever seen at 600 milliliters, almost like a travel companion. The thermostat is a really nice feature, especially around $50. The on-off switch was a little concerning because it's so close to the base of the kettle. It's hard not to touch the kettle. You might almost burn yourself, so you need to be careful. A little bit of a design flaw there. Also, unknown brand, really unsure about the raw materials used on this kettle. That's just a question mark for myself. Otherwise, all these kettles are goosenecks and they do function that well. The Jocuu almost poured better than the other 3 kettles. It also came with a pour-over coffee filter. I don't drink coffee, so this is just an additional cost to occur. This is the most expensive out of the 3, but if you're a coffee fan, maybe that's a bonus. But for me, this kettle was eliminated. It's just a little bit different, not my type of style for brewing tea. So it really boiled down to these 2 kettles. The Bodum did have a concerning feature of having plastic inside, also a more loosely fit lid. The design of the handle isn't as comfortable. Maybe it's just this metal part, which also gets very hot, which is more difficult to hold. It kind of felt like flimsy. The Willow and Everest was a lot more secure when holding and didn't get hot in the area of my thumb. It also felt a little bit more well balanced. It's also entirely stainless steel, which is really nice. So I think for me, the winner here for budget-friendly tea kettles that are gooseneck and stainless steel and under $50, it's going to be the Willow and Everest. They also do have a temperature-controlled version of this kettle, which you can get as well. It's just a little bit more expensive, so it does give you some options. But I think this will do everything we need it to do if we just want a nice stainless steel gooseneck kettle. I won't be keeping any of these kettles because I have the Fellow Stag EKG and I have a few other kettles I like a lot that have a lot more attention to detail. But if you're looking for that budget-friendly kettle, this is probably going to be your friend when brewing tea. So thank you all. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what else you want to see me review or talk about on this channel. Thanks so much.